A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Techgig webinar series. The topic for today's session is Keep Your IT Systems Smart and Sleek. And we have with us today Mr. Amlesh Pore. He is the Senior Manager, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Amlesh has more than 16 years of experience in the IT consulting and management in SAP and various technology fields for clients in the US, UK, Europe, and APAC regions. He has demonstrated the alignment of business requirement and technology fitment in verticals like retail, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, and high-tech manufacturing through project delivery and consulting. He was also associated with Infosys and L&T in the Jadavpur University, Kolkata, and PMP certified from PMI USA. He was a speaker and paper presenter in the Project Management National Conference 2011 conducted by PMI India. As a standard practice, the presentation for today will last for the first 45 odd minutes, and we will open up the session for a quick round of Q&A during the last 15 minutes. Request all the attendees to start sending in questions from 3:30 p.m. onwards, and also please inform me in case if you face any connection or any audio related problem throughout the session today. So without any further delay, I now hand over the presentation to Amlesh. Amlesh, I am giving you the presenters right now.
Okay, sure.
Please let me know once you...
Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen now. Please start the presentation.
Okay, thanks, Ragna, and very warm welcome everybody to the webinar. Keep your IT system smart and sleek. The format of the presentation that I'm going to arrange today is we'll go through sort of introduction, then we'll talk about why do we have the challenges today, what if we don't act on it, how do I keep my IT smart and sleek, which is the agenda of this webinar, dynamic reorganization of application portfolio. We'll take you through a case study. We'll talk about a business and IT partnership and governance, and then we'll summarize the webinar today. So I'm sure many of you have also experienced the same thing. Many customers that we have worked with, if we are in the consulting organization, some of you who are already in the IT department of the organizations, you may have also experienced that the organizations are struggling to keep themselves updated with the latest technology trend. The reason is like technologies are coming out very fast, and it takes a lot of time to adapt them and deploy them to the business requirement. As a result, the organizations many times they use the outdated technology, they use the obsolete technology, or sometimes even if they are using the technology, whatever is the latest available in the market, however, it's not probably aligning with the business goal. As a consequence, what we see that organizations are, IT departments are not meeting the right business demand, and at the same time, they're incurring higher cost of maintenance. To give you a very small example, I have seen an organization who are almost 5 to 6 years into an ERP solution that they have implemented, and their legacy technology, legacy solution is still continuing in parallel, which are not required because the ERP solution can take care. Due to various reasons, they could not retire that. So after 5-6 years into the ERP solution, they decided to retire the legacy solution, and already they have spent a lot of money on that. And on top of that, whenever we are using more number of systems, that means more integration and more point of failure and more business dissatisfaction. So, as I mentioned, in other words, in such scenario, the IT landscape does not look very smart in front of the business, and design-wise also it is not very slick. So what I intend to deliver today in this webinar, to make ourselves conscious, whatever role we are playing in the IT organization, with our client or with our own organization, all of us need to be very conscious so that we maintain a evergreen IT landscape. We should continue focusing on the technology, using the latest technology. Not only, like, I'm not talking about any technology that a senior management team will need to bring and deploy. Even if the existing one, are we using the full potential in order to keep it very efficient? And we have to ensure, this is a knowledge industry. The entire IT is a knowledge industry. So all the people who are working in IT should use the knowledge as a power to keep it evergreen. At the same time, I want to remind that I do not mean that any latest technology available in the market, without any relevance, we add them to the landscape. Coming to why do we have the challenges today? First point is the nature of business always changes over the time. Whether the IT is catering to a manufacturing solution, I mean the manufacturing organization, whether it's an automobile company, whether it's a pharmaceutical company or any healthcare company or a retail chain. The nature of business always changes due to the consumer behavior, due to many external factors. So one of the things that we need to keep in mind, that the application suitability to the business change. So if our application is not good enough to cater various situations, when the application has been developed, either it's the product or in-house developed, if we have not thought of various situations, what's going to come up in next 5 years, 10 years, the application suitability goes down. The second point is the lack of holistic planning for IT upgrade. So definitely all the companies are going ahead and deployed new technologies. It's not that they're not doing it. But do we have the right view? And I'm sure many of you have experienced that many areas who are not supposed to go to the latest technology because it's not required, probably they get the latest technology, and some of the areas are deprived. So the IT management team will need to have a real holistic plan, that where do we upgrade and where I do not upgrade. The third point is absence of a review mechanism. So kind of tied up with the first 2 points I mentioned in this slide, that is suitability of the existing application to the business trend and application of the latest technology in the right area, be it any kind of application which is being catered to the business, any package that we are implementing, also my hardware and network. What I want to mean here, we need to have a review mechanism with all stakeholders rather than one group decide what needs to be done, because in such cases all the points that are supposed to be considered do not come into picture. All of you probably will agree with me, the fourth point, losing the knowledge over the long period of time. and that is applicable to the business users who are using the application, as well as the IT teams who are supporting the applications, who are developing new things on top of the application. And what I feel is very important, that people often do not feel the need of a IT and business collaboration or cooperation and having a governance model. Going to the next slide, what if we don't act? If we don't act even today, the gap between the business and IT will keep on increasing. Business will tend to depend on localized IT solution because sometimes they feel that I'm not getting what I want. So I'm not sure how many of you will agree with me, but I have seen business going to use, especially when it is like small applications. So they buy from the market without going through the IT department, and they start using it. What is the result? As long as the application works, no issue. At some point of time, the definitely application will have some kind of a glitches and hitches. So that is the time they won't get the right support, and also integration is the problem. Application instability also increases, because definitely when you are using some application on an infrastructure, let's say on a Unix platform, on Oracle database, over the period of time, some kind of wear and tear definitely would come, even if we deploy the state-of-the-art technology. And that instability increases, and if we don't keep it updated, if we don't keep it suitable for business, in that case, there will be more downtime. So this is an impact on business. Somewhere the delivery truck is waiting, and some breakdown happened in the system, and because of that they cannot move ahead. 20 years ago, people always had some kind of a paper solution. If the IT does not work, business doesn't stop. But today, the entire business everywhere in the world is completely dependent on IT. So the alternate, if it has to come from the IT. They cannot have any paper-based solution. The expensive maintenance also continue. The reason I mentioned, like somewhere probably we have deployed something, some technology which is an expensive one, but it probably is not a relevant to the business at that situation. And the integration across the business departments keeps getting snapped. So what it is, today let's say we develop some system or group of systems across the enterprise business, and if we do not keep it up along with the business changes, so people will develop some kind of a manual workaround in between, or they will develop something, a very localized solution. So the entire integration that was designed originally, that will keep cutting. And after 5 years, after 10 years, we'll see that it's not an integrated solution at all. So if we do not keep an eye on bringing up the latest technology or catering to the business requirement at this point of time, the entire integration will keep collapsing. Obviously, the overall cost to maintain the IT system will increase, and as a result, the core business, for example, if my client or if my organization is the automobile maker, so because of the robust infrastructure in the IT, they will lose their competitive edge in the market. We'll probably discuss more about it as we move ahead. So the question is, how do I keep my IT smart and slick? So I come up with the 4 points here, which are the vital ones. Any IT organization should have the planning with the vision of 1 year horizon, 3 years horizon, and 5 years horizon. We'll talk more about it later. On a regular basis, we should evaluate existing application suitability to the current business requirement. On a regular basis, we should assess the technical smartness of the application in the current world. We'll also talk more about it in the subsequent slides. We need to ensure that the application users and IT support personnel are always familiar with the functionalities of the applications that are being used. I already touched upon this before. We'll talk more about it, how to do it. Coming to the planning, as I mentioned, we should have a longer vision. So we should have a 5 year horizon. We should have a midterm vision, that is 3 years. And definitely we should have the 1 year planning. So if you talk about most of the organizations, definitely they have 1 year planning, almost 99.99% cases. Many of them have the 3 years planning also, but either they have a 3 years planning which is strong enough. Some of the organizations have the 3 year planning, but it's not a very strong enough. And there are organizations who probably do not have that kind of long-term vision. And I have seen very less organizations having a strong 5 year horizon. They have something probably in mind, but this is probably even documented, but not a very strongly committed ones. So my recommendation is we should have a plan, and that should be on a 5 year horizon, 3 years horizon, and 1 year horizon. What should be thought, planned, and executed as a part of these plannings? First of all, get the input from the business regarding the upcoming changes. What I mean here, let's say they're going to get into a, let's say they're a manufacturing company. At the same time, they're thinking that in 3 years time, they should open some retail outlets also. They don't want to depend on the dealers. Or they want to increase the efficiency of the communication with their suppliers and other partners. So they want EDI communication to be implemented across the partners. So let's say there's 2 examples. If we know well ahead in time when the business decides, so from the IT perspective, there can be a plan made. What is the most effective solution for them for the new business area, and how do we plan for that? How can we be ready before business goes live? Also in a similar line, I kind of touched upon the second point also in my example. What product, service development, or amendments in the company business domain coming up in the future? And also, what are the growing obstacles the current business users are facing? The obstacles may be because our earlier design was not enough to take care of them, or already in a subtle way some new changes have come to the business, what knowingly or unknowingly have gone out of our notice, both business and IT. However, users are facing the pain. We need to take care of that. Given these major inputs, we need to see what are the new upgrade or deployment or some infrastructure, for example, in the network that we need to implement. Any application not having any requirement now? Do we need to retire them? What are the new projects or maintenance that we should budget based on the cost benefit analysis? We should also plan for the human resource planning. What I mean is like what additional training I need to put to my people. What are the areas due to technical expertise I should outsource? What are the areas it should be in-sourced because knowledge of the business is more important, for example. Or it may be like you have certain niche technical skill set what definitely will not get it so easily outside, so you want to in-source that area. And continuously review along with the business leads. So coming to the next point, that is evaluate the application suitability to the business. The adaptability of the application that has to be inbuilt within the application. As I was mentioning previously, if I buy a package today or if I develop an application today, we need to think of the different business scenario which may come up very soon or which may come up in a horizon of 3 years or 5 years. Without revamping the whole application, can it be tweaked? Can it be configured to take care of the business situation? For example, if I am building a sales application, if I am going to add new channel partners, can it take care of it so easily? Or every time I need to make some new programs and which will go through the pain of development and testing, etc. Let's take an example that today one organization, they are delivering the products to different dealers or wholesalers from different OEM suppliers. Now 5 years ago, when this solution was developed based on the business requirement, the OEM suppliers used to take care of the delivery to the wholesalers based on the instruction that you were sending in your sales application or rather delivery logistic application. Now over the last 5 years, the situation has changed so much. There has been a like one-to-many or many-to-many relationship of the OEM and the wholesaler supply has come up. As a result, their entire truck doesn't get filled up every day or every week, whatever is the frequency. So now they are feeling either they should charge me extra or they are asking me to take care of an alternate option. So business has come up with alternate option that I should go for a third-party logistics who will use their own truck to pick up from different OEMs and deliver to different wholesalers. That way I have a cost-effective solution for the business. Now this is a kind of a quite change in the delivery model for IT. So can my system take care of such scenario? So if this has been inbuilt 5 years ago when the application was deployed, yes, probably with a little bit of effort it can be deployed. It's a very fair situation that it probably was not thought of. So now we need to make some custom development. But the advice is whenever we do the custom development, probably we need to be more probing to the business. Well, what are the different scenarios you are thinking of? In that case, if we at all changing our program, our application, in that case, we can incorporate those flexibilities also in our application. So the message here is every time whenever we are developing or configuring any product, we need to think of the future situation. Business will not come up so easily, so we need to involve them, and then as much as possible the scenario we need to cover so that it remains very young even after 3 years or 5 years, and agile, that any business changes it can adapt very easily. Uh, if we are switching to a new product, it may cost higher. But we need to see that going forward in my next 5 years view, probably that will be most efficient and cost effective rather than maintaining the old application which is already costing me higher, and I am putting a lot of additional amendments to that. There should be an annual evaluation of, let's say, any application or group of applications that we are maintaining between the IT and business. That can be a kind of a format. Okay, what all things it is supposed to do? Is it serving to the business correctly? And in that case, we can come up with the points like, certain things are not working as expected, so either some amendment to the application needs to be done, or if it is really some application come up with, no, business has changed a lot, so we need to think of some alternate solution. So we need to have this conducted jointly between IT and business, because really IT does not know what business is going on, so that input has to come from the business. And once this practice is established, then we'll feel that it's not an expensive exercise. Whenever we are thinking about all these things new, so mobilizing people from different departments and making all this kind of project, they will be taken as a kind of a mini project. So project arrangement, etc., will appear to be expensive. But I assure you that once the practice is already there, in 1 year or 2 years time frame, will realize that this is no more an expensive exercise. I've given an example here. If a manufacturing organization decides to outsource design of some product components, how does the current application handle the change of business without letting business to do any manual work? So in general, the tendency is that design is taken care within the company, and then the manufacturing either is done in-house or original equipment manufacturers they do the manufacturing. However, the current trend is some of the component designs are also outsourced to the suppliers who are eligible enough. So let's say one organization has come up with this business strategy now. In that case, do I have the right software to support it? Do I have the right application to support it? So in that case, we need to spend time. We need to evaluate the right ERP solution rather than whatever is working, and we just try to customize the legacy solution. I'm not saying that we should not do that. If it is a really good, efficient legacy solution and a little bit of bolt-on will help rather than buying a new ERP, yes, go ahead and do that. But we need to be open to think about that. Assess the technical smartness of the application. When we, if we look back 10 years ago, kind of data traffic that used to go through our network, kind of data requirement of storing it into our database, they have changed a lot. Nowadays, data is really, really big, and anyone who works on any application development as a technical consultant or functional consultant know that any application development, the biggest challenge is the performance. How do the lot of data get faced and a report is produced in front of customer, or when the data maintenance, master data maintenance, or even a transactional data maintenance is required as a part of the day-to-day business. That time, if the database performance is not good enough, in that case, however good the functionality is, the business is impacted. So therefore, we need to continuously assess the technical smartness. That means technically, is it giving me the right result for business? Is the current network capable of handling traffic? Does the system respond to the users effectively? Do the batch jobs take longer time to finish? For example, 5 years ago when I designed it, it used to start in the midnight and end by 2 o'clock in the morning. Now it is going to 5 a.m. So if we don't pay any attention, very soon it will become 7 a.m. and business will start shouting that my information is not ready, my report is not ready, so how do I start my business? I want to start my day at 7 o'clock. So basically that fastness has to come within the system. So we need to consider adding additional memory, disk, or boxes within the current technology infrastructure if it is a scalable one. So which is a very easy one. If you have more data to handle, more data traffic to handle, in that case add memory at the disk. Also, when you go to the hardware or the network technology, it's quite complex. And over the period of time, there are a lot of adapters, a lot of softwares, they are involved in those areas. If they're obsolete, they won't be able to handle the new scenario. So we need to consider the right technology for hardware and network to be put, or upgrading the latest one, so that the business requirement of fast data movement is not compromised. And the kind of same thing what I mentioned, assess if additional infrastructure capabilities required. What is the benchmark? So it's not that we just need to put the latest technology, the very first database infrastructure to face the reports and to update the records. That's not required because if business is coming to work at 7 o'clock, if my batch job finishes at 4 o'clock, then also it is fine. So we need to be kind of pragmatic here, that what is my requirement? Is it required to upgrade immediately? So we need to go ahead and see what kind of technology I should use against the number of users, against my data size, my number of transactions. So whatever technology we are using, whatever solutions we are using, whatever platforms we are using. So that benchmark based on the best practices in the market we need to apply here. One example here, going forward, the top exec community of the company would access the reports and approval workflow from their handheld devices like tablets and mobiles, rather than the traditional way of going through the laptop and approving it. Because nowadays the business definition has changed. So they are probably always in a different meeting, on travel, and at the same time the things that definitely require that approval, or the data that definitely they need to know every 1 hour, that requirement does not change. So the only way to serve is that I need to port those functionalities to the tablets or mobiles that are like approved by the company, that they should be able to use that. So do my IT system allow that? If not, probably we are going to or rather the business is going to lose a competitive edge over their competitors, because the top execs need to be efficient enough. Knowledge of the application. I'll spend the minimum time here because all of us will agree to this. Organization should not lose the knowledge of the application. And unfortunately, this is a very common phenomena for most of the organizations. The reasons are the user manuals are not maintained properly. We do not have a process of retraining or transition handover. And also when the applications come into live production, design documents are there, they never get updated. What is the consequence? Definitely, if we do not know the application very well, I cannot use that application to its best potential. And when something breaks, that time, due to lack of knowledge, it takes a lot of time to restore the service. So that means downtime increases. If the downtime increases, that means business is waiting for the work to be done. So there would be some monetary loss that would be incurred. And whenever you are going for, let's say, a new project and revamping this, so some of the best practices that are incorporated in those applications, they are lost forever. So what is the recommendation? The very important proper and regular maintenance of the documentation, that is something the IT leadership team of any organization has to come up and enforce it. There should be annual refresher training for both IT service teams and business users as well. And any handover or transition, either at the business user level or at the IT support team level, they have to be taken up very seriously. I will talk about dynamic reorganization of application portfolio. In other words, people know it as application portfolio rationalization. We don't require this if a regular practice is there to evaluate the application suitability of the business and assessing the technical smartness of the application. Given the scenario, most of the organizations are not 100% behind it. There is a requirement of one-time activity, when I say one-time activity in probably 8 to 10 years, to do a reorganization of the application portfolio. So what I do here, if you see the graph, the little graph I have put at that bottom right corner, we evaluate the application's utilization, whether high or low, whether the applications are using the latest technology, that means if it has been continuously upgraded as per the release, high or low. So we get 4 quadrants. The top right quadrant with the applications high utilization for business as well as highly modernized technology being used, will get a green go that these applications are going to stay and they don't require any kind of further maintenance. The applications which are highly utilized by business but very low in technology, we need to consider either the ones which are already high on the technology usage, whether some of them take care of those functionalities, or else we need to upgrade those applications to the latest technology because they're highly used by business. We need to cater to the business in the right way. The ones they are high on technology but not utilized by business, we need to consider probably definitely port those functionalities into the platform which are green and then retire that application. The ones I marked as red on the top, on the bottom left corner, the ones that are not utilized much by business, technology is also very old, they are probably not required by anybody. So 99% cases the approach is we just retire it. So what is the approach we take? We for the dynamic reorganization of the application portfolio, we do a high-level study and come up with this kind of a little graph, so which would be more exhaustive when I do a real-time study, and come up with the short-term, mid-term, and long-term implementation plan. I'll take you through a case study. It's an illustrative case study. Let's assume an IT department of manufacturing organization. They have an annual budget of 170 million US dollar. Their business is like manufacturing electronic items. They are designed in-house as well as collaborated by partners. They are outsourced manufacturing. They sell through various partner channels and frequently need to change the business strategy to compete in the market. We know that this kind of business are very competitive. When I come up with some kind of a product, we don't know whether the consumers in the market will like it or not. And I need to be very dynamic to guess that and change my business strategy, even if that means that changing some, adding some new features or changing some features in the product while I just launched it. The IT system here catered to the business areas like supply chain, supplier collaboration, product design, sales, production, finance, executive reporting, human resource, legal matters, daily operations definitely such as email, document vault, network, etc. We have around 300 IT applications, big plus small, and there are 20 applications running with business. I mentioned to you that sometimes business tend to use their own applications. Type of applications or systems are like major ERP systems are there. There are PLM packages. In-house applications are also built on Unix Oracle system and mainframe. And we also have enterprise application integration product. What is the challenge with business? It's very important. I'm going slow on that. Slow processing to roll out any design change, slow response to the dynamic change in the market demand, no skill support for 20 non-IT applications. And what is the challenge with IT? Decreasing trend of budget allocation from CEO and CFO, and high turnaround time for incident resolution, 3 to 6 months, instability after new project go live. So let's take a look at their system, how it is catering to different business areas. So the rectangular boxes are the various business areas, as I mentioned, like product design, production, supply chain. The oval boxes are the IT solutions for them. If you see the legend of the color, so ERP solution is catering to supply chain, product design, production, sales, finance, supplier collaboration. CRM solution is catering to the sales. There is a PLM package who is helping the product design and supplier collaboration to some extent. Enterprise data warehouse application is there to take care of the exec reporting. Also there are like other small applications to take care of exec reporting. So other small applications are taking care of human resource and legal matters. And daily operations are generally catered by their email solutions and the content management solution. So the goal is to reduce the IT budget within 2 years to 120 million US dollar from 170. The lead time, the making the system available across the portfolio to 99%. Currently it is 96%. Lead time between the business process should be reduced by half, and not more than one high severity incident after any project go live. So the organizations have taken up these 4 initiatives. Cost reduction, plan to retire less used or not used application that frees up the support personnel cost, releases hardware boxes, remove license cost, remove unused hardware infrastructure. That gives a savings of around 15 million US dollar over the period of 2 years and increases the system availability by 1%. On the right corner, project for business, review all the business process mapping, identify the gap and litigation, reduce number of application and increase into and plan for new projects, cancel non-value add projects. With the new projects, I am incurring more cost, but by canceling non-value add projects, I am saving lots. So this gives me 7.5 million US dollar saving. Business satisfaction increases, business process lead time improves. The third initiative is the review project methodology. We need to involve business during the requirement gathering. Testing methodology needs to be improved. Getting criteria, should not go to the next phase of the project unless your previous criteria has been satisfied. Business involvement in all project phases. This reduce the deadline means and saves a lot, 20 million US dollar. Business satisfaction increases, business process lead time improves, system availability increases 1.5% because the project go lives are now smooth. And the knowledge management. We need to maintain a good knowledge repository and a good business and IT collaboration here. This increases the availability by 1%, saves 7.5 million US dollar, and definitely business satisfaction. Here is a like illustrative 5-year, 1, 3, and 5-year plan. And my last point here is the business and IT partnership and governance. We are recommending a business relationship director here to take care of the business requirement and making sure the governance is there while developing any new solution and for ongoing maintenance. Any project, if you see my right hand box here, the project manager should have a technical team as well as a part-time business team, and business managers from the business side should collaborate with him. There should be a dotted line on him. I'm into the summary slide now. So all we are talking about should have the IT planning, business process suitability should be there in the system. We should continuously optimize the latest technology. We should maintain a good knowledge management repository. We should improve the project delivery methodology. We have seen that cost a lot to the companies. Reorganization of application portfolio, if everything is maintained properly, is not required, but a one-time exercise is required if things have not been maintained properly in the last 8 to 10 years. And most importantly, business IT governance structure. I will probably take another 2 minutes to go through the questions covered. We covered whether the planning horizon should cover only project or support. The answer we have got is yes, both of them. What do we require to evaluate the existing application suitability to the current business? We discussed in details on that. It's not an expensive exercise once the practice is there. What will be the benchmark of the technical smartness of the applications? We covered that, we touched upon that. The message is to upgrade technology continuously. Isn't it expensive? We also talked about that. IT organizations can ensure knowledgeable IT support personnel. How can it have control over the business users? We talked about the IT business governance model where both of us collaborate and maintain it. What are the specific examples? We went through some examples where organizations have not gone through the latest technology that is required for their business, and also we talked about the examples where organizations have gone to the latest technology but it's not really catering the right business requirement. So that's the end of my presentation. So Srilakna, probably we can go for the opinion poll and then start the question and answer session.
Sure, I'll just launch the first poll of the day. The first poll question was how many applications in your client or IT department are obsolete? Please let me know if you want to make any changes, because as I earlier mentioned, we had to cut the question short because of space constraint. So
That's perfect.
Okay, so I'm launching the poll now. I shall keep it open for about 15 or 20 odd seconds and let all our attendees participate, and then we shall share the response. Okay, so I'm closing the poll now. Around 19% say no, 0. Around 38% say 1 to 3. 13% say 4 to 5, and 31% are saying more than 5.
Okay, thanks, Srilakna. We can go to the next one.
Okay. So the next question is, how many applications do you think deployed with latest technology but underutilized?
Yes, the question is correct.
And the result has come. 53% say 1 to 3, 41% say 4 to 5, and 6% say more than 5.
Okay, thanks. We can go to the next question.
And the last poll question for the day is, how many IT projects have you worked in the last 5 years?
No, the question should be how many IT projects you have worked in last 5 years where business have been part of the team.
Okay, so request all the attendees to take your poll accordingly on the revised question. Amlesh, could you repeat the question once again, just so that they
Uh,
hear?
how many IT projects you have worked in last 5 years where business users have been integral part of the team, even if it's part-time? They are not just customers, they are part of your team. They have come to your meetings, they have given their opinion together, and they are liable for their deliverables also.
Okay, I think we have
That
an answer. Um, so around 5% say 0, 50% say 1 to 3, 10% say 4 to 5, and 35% say more than 5.
okay. All right, thanks. Is there any way like you can display the result?
I actually did display it, so probably it can be viewed only by the attendees and the moderator.
Okay,
It
all
was
right.
there on the screen.
Okay,
Now,
probably you can send me later on.
sure. Um, so what I'll do is I'll share the. I have only received one question so far, and the person has left. However, I'm sharing it with you. Um, And in the meanwhile, if all of you could send more questions for Amlesh to answer, we have around 8 more minutes to close the session. Amlesh, you will find the question in the questions window on your control panel.
Okay, I can't see here. If you can probably read it out for me.
Sure. The question is from Pankaj Singh. He is asking if OEM installed OS system crashed the HDD, then how do I find the OS key?
Okay, I would say it's not a relevant
Relevant
question
question.
here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And another question is advantages and disadvantages of moving applications to cloud. I'm not sure if you would be able to comment on this.
Okay, it's somewhat related here. That yes, the answer is we need to evaluate with respect to the organization policy and the cost benefit analysis whether we should move the applications to cloud. For example, definitely if I move to cloud, I have a cost benefit. At the same time, if my organization policy prohibits me to put the company data into the cloud, in that case we cannot do that. Then the next question is, do I have that prohibition for all kind of data? We can do a common analysis between business and IT and identify the ones they can be put into the cloud without violating company policy. We can then plan to do that so that we get the benefit of the cost here. Hope
And
that answers your question.
okay. Another question is how to do the database tuning if database crashes.
Again, I would say it's not a relevant question.
Okay, moving on, there is one question from Amol. He's asking, organization don't know the importance of keeping IT department in sync or updated for future business plans. How to tell management about the same?
All right. So what I probably don't have the clarification here when you said that organization don't know. Do you mean that organization outside IT, or is it the IT organizations? So this is a more of a situation. I assume that it's partially both your top management of the IT and the IT organizations outside. So whatever is your role in the organization, I would suggest go ahead and put your points together that why it should be kept in sync. If you don't keep it in sync, what is that you're going to lose in future? So it's like convincing the leadership and then so that's how we need to do that. So when my message here is we need to identify the reasons with respect to the organizations that you are working, and then explain this to the leadership team.
Okay, with that, I think we will wrap up today's session. Um, However, this is a request to all the attendees to send in more questions for Amlesh offline. Perhaps you could log in to techgig.com and leave the questions on the discussion forum for Amlesh to go and read out the queries and leave the answers behind. Otherwise, you can also email us the questions directly, and we will be more than happy to share the same with Amlesh offline. I hope that's all right with you, Amlesh.
Yes, I'll be happy to come back with the answers.
Okay, so the recording of today's session will be available online by Monday morning. So those of you who missed out on any part of today's session, please request you to visit techgig.com and go through the entire session all over again. And thank you so much, Amlesh, for taking time out on a Friday afternoon and giving this presentation. And we hope that we do more such webinars in the near future. Thank you, everyone, for the fair
Yeah,
support and participation today.
thanks Lagna, and thanks everybody.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye, you too.